All right, what's up? This is Brother Tim coming at you live and direct. I am here for a tribal quote tonight. We're gonna kick it off. I'm kind of hyped, but yet again, I'm kind of tired. I'm still trying to get used to doing this late night thing. So I'm going to take you to page 52 of tribal quotes. Those that want to join and be a little bit more in the loop, you get the book and keep up with me and use the book in your own personal way. We usually only do one of the proverbs on tribal quotes, but today, because we're trying to do something new and I'm building up on the show, I'm gonna walk through all three of them, and then we're gonna discuss all three. If you have any questions, any comments, feel free to text me. Feel free to instant message me. Feel free to even, in some instances, call me, because it may show up on here because we're doing this in a hangout. First off, I want to send shots and love out to those that do take the time to listen, whether you're listening live or whether you're listening later. Make sure you subscribe to our Gye-Nyame Journey channel. Make sure you follow us on Google+. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Gye-Nyame Radio. All right, at Gye-Nyame Radio. You'll see me with the dreads and stuff like that. So, hey, now it's time to get started. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through all three of them. Then I'm gonna come back to the main screen. All right, so we on day 52. Man, we did 50. Think about this. This is only one show. We have done 52 of these. You know what I'm saying? So one, this says something about the consistency, and this also, my piece is, if you build it, the ancestors will fill it up. So I've been doing this, and we don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but hey, it's going somewhere because I've been consistent on my air game. Now I'm going to download this eventually and put it up on the Spreaker for those that's been following me on Spreaker. But I'm trying to do this so I can get people more involved. What's coming in the future, right? Those of you that's joining me, hold on for a second, because I am I will bring you in after I read the proverbs. What we are moving towards is eventually I'll be able to take calls. So right now I'm putting the money to the side so that I can go on and get the mixer so that I can plug my phone in. So in order to do that, I got to get rid of this digital mic, which I love. I got to get me some stylish audio mics, not digital, audio mics, so I can plug them into the mixer, as well as run my phone through it so I can receive calls directly from those that are listening. So we could take the show to a whole nother level. So this is Brother Tim. Once again, I want to welcome you to Tribal Quote. So let's get started. Day 52. God doesn't require you to succeed. He only requires that you try. Mother Teresa. Next one. Whatever you fear most has no power. It is your fear that has the power. That's Oprah Winfrey. Don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. That's from Niger and Nigeria. That's a Hausa proverb. So let me come back to the main screen. See, I'm getting better at this, y'all. I'm getting better at this. I'm going to take that off. Hopefully, y'all got it up on your stuff. I'm going to stop screen sharing. All right. So here we go. Woo! All right, since I'm doing all of them, I'm going to start from the top. We'll do the African proverb last, because on all these, I've tried to make sure that the last one was always an African proverb. I wanted to pull from wisdom all over the world because I believe that you can find wisdom in it. I believe that it's necessary to find wisdom anywhere, because only a fool, as Bob Marley would say, only a fool would die from thirst, surrounded by water, and that's what a lot of us are doing. We are dying from thirst. We come from a people who have been mining wisdom for hundreds of thousands of years. We've been watching the stars. We've been coming up with mathematical calculations. We have been doing advanced form of math. We have been doing advanced forms of architecture. We have been building monuments that people cannot do today, right? But for some reason, we are lost in the wilderness of North America. And the reason is because we refuse to go back and dip our buckets in the water of the wisdom of our ancestors. We have decided that we are not going to do the wisdom mind. See, because that's the hardest type of work. Because those of you that really are thinkers, you start to understand, because people think that thinking is easy. But when you really start looking out here in this world and see some of the stuff that's going on, you find out that it is not easy to be a thinker. It is not, it is tiring, because you have to look and almost second guess everything. You got to second guess what's going on in the education system. You got to second guess what's going on in your job. You got to second guess what your children are watching on TV. You got to second guess what you're putting on your body and in your body. You got to second guess everything. And a lot of people say, well, that sounds very complicated. Yes, it is complicated, because freedom has never been free. The highest price that you pay for freedom is your mental energy. Because in order to stay free, you first have to free yourself mentally, and the body will follow. You know what I'm saying? So first, we got to free our people's minds. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us are getting caught up in the madness of the world, because it's easy being ignorant. Because with ignorance comes blame. And what blame does, it gives us the ability to put our ignorance on somebody else. It's somebody else's fault for everything. It's somebody else's fault that I'm in a relationship but I don't like. It's somebody else's fault that I'm broke. It's somebody else's fault that that I'm in a political situation I'm in. It's somebody else's fault that I didn't get the education I deserve. It's somebody else's fault that I'm spiritually in chains. It's somebody else's fault that I'm emotionally messed up. You see what I'm saying? But the ancestors have laid all this out for us. Whether we're talking folk tales or whether we're talking proverbs and quotes, whether we're talking myths, you know what I'm saying? They laid this out for us. And the only thing I'm doing, and the only thing we're doing at Gye-Nyame is going back and pulling this wisdom up and saying, look, fool, here it is right here. When you look at something like Aesop fables, or you look at Uncle Remus's tales, or you look at some of the myths that our ancestors have left us, they are basically showing us, they are basically saying, look, here is the roadmap. This is nothing new. I keep on trying to tell y'all, the situation we are in right now is nothing new. It's nothing new. So when we start going back and getting this wisdom, I know I digress from what I originally was supposed to talk about, but when that spirit hit, dog, it hits. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, look, and we never know. This is why I want to do the show like this, because it's not just for me. It's because I honestly believe that you never know how your wisdom or how the information you share may affect somebody else. Each one of you sitting out there listening to me, whether you're listening to me live or whether you're listening to me in a podcast sometime in the future, I'm talking to you. You never know how the light that you have in your heart, how the light that you are on this planet, you never know how it may affect somebody. You never know how what you have experienced in life, you never know how that may help somebody else. See, we have been fed the lie that we are insignificant. Man, that's a lie. You understand what I'm saying? That's a lie. Each one of you was born for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the bastard thing that I talked about the other day. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of that, there's still a purpose. There's a reason why you are here. There's a reason why you chose the parents you chose. There's a reason. See, because I reverse the whole equation, because many of us say, well, our children didn't choose to be born. Hell with that. Let's go and take some responsibility all the way back. If we're spiritual beings, then we chose to be born. We chose to be born when we chose to be born. We chose to be born through who we were born. We chose all that. So let's take some, when you take responsibility for that type of stuff, that gives you just a little bit more power than the average person. That means that when you are facing somebody in a conflict, this means that you had put yourself in that conflict. This means that you put yourself there, and that makes you get you a little bit more ready. That gets you a little bit more confidence, because you're able to say, look, I put myself here, and I know I wouldn't put myself here to lose. I chose this. Oh my God. All right. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I'm hyped. I should have did this on Spreaker. I'm hyped. Now get ready, because I'm about to drop, because we ain't even get to the damn Proverbs yet. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even get to the Proverbs yet. So it's about to go down right now on Gye-Nyame Journey Radio. It's about to go down on the Gye-Nyame Journey Hangout. So y'all need to go and start texting y'all friends, because I'm about to change some lives. And maybe if you drop something, you might change some lives with me. Stop being scared. Pick up your phone, pick up your computer, dial in, and let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? It's world changing time. You understand what I'm saying? It's soul awakening time. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this is about. You know what I'm saying? Other than just showing it, you know what? Dude, listen, I ain't been doing all this studying all my life. I don't got me a massive, I ain't been collecting books for nothing. I've been buying books since I was 18 years old, and I got more books. The only thing that I had longer than some of the books I got is my damn phone number. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't keep clothes. I don't keep shoes. I got books. You know what I'm saying? And now it got to a point where I don't even buy books no more, because I could go and get audios. Man, oh my God. You think I've been doing all this for nothing? Oh, hell no. Listen. Brother Hatim is here to drop it tonight. So whether you know what I'm saying, send this to your friend. If it's only two of y'all, listen, send it to, because if you two send it to your friends, that means that I don't reach possibly 100 people, because nobody will respect our stuff more than us. Always remember that, folks. All right, so now let's get to this proverb. Man, all right. God doesn't require us to succeed. He only requires that you try. Oh man. How many of us have fallen into the trap that she's talking about, where we are dissatisfied with something, but because we are scared, we won't even try. We won't even try to change. We'll stay stuck somewhere. We'll stay stuck with somebody. We'll stay stuck in a job because we are scared. And understand this, because this is one of the things that, because like my daughter right now, she's learning how to write. And I love this. One of the reasons I like working with kids. One of the things that you start to notice is that early in us, right, due to the TV and due to the stuff we see around us, and some of the stuff we tell our kids, we automatically start thinking that we are automatically supposed to be good at stuff. My daughter believes that she's just supposed to be good at writing. It's just supposed to come natural. She's just supposed to be able to walk in class and through osmosis, all this new shit is supposed to just drop on her, and she is able to regurgitate it. So when she got to sit down and she has to struggle with writing, she starts crying. You know what I'm saying? And the piece is, I'm trying to instill in her, and I'm instilling it with my son, and I'm trying to get myself, because I have been tainted by this, that in order to learn, only thing we have to do is two things we have to do. We have to be humble, and we have to be willing to fail. See, trying opens us up for failure. And nobody wants to look bad in front of their friends, especially when all your friends is fronting like they have never failed, or fronting like they have never struggled. See, this is why it's important that we start surrounding ourselves with real friends, with real skills, because those individuals with those real friends, right, will encourage you when you fail, will encourage you when you struggle, right? And because they know, because those real friends got real skills, and they know that the only way they was able to develop their skills was step by step. And that meant that they had to fail a whole lot more times than they succeeded. Most of us are scared to fail. Most of us are too embarrassed to take that step out. Most of us are frozen we freeze our abilities because we don't want to try, because we don't want to fail. We don't like how it feels. And we need to train our children to enjoy that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Why? Why should they learn to enjoy the feeling of failure? Because you can't get good at nothing. You can't master nothing if you don't fail. You see what I'm saying? One of the biggest myths that I'm trying to break up in my school is that some kids are just born naturally smart. No, we got to kill that shit. You got to kill it. We got to kill it. We got to kill it when it's young. Because the issue is individuals aren't born smart. They have been exposed to certain things. And because they have been exposed to certain things and have picked up certain practices, they are more skilled at one thing than they are at another. We need to stop telling our kids and start telling ourselves that we're naturally this and we're naturally that. No, we worked at that shit. The bottom line is we worked at it, and we have to accept that. See, because when we accept that, that means that now I can push off and learn something new. I can go off into a whole nother field because I had to struggle to be able to do what I'm good at. This means that it's okay for me to struggle with something else. I got a bunch of kids sitting around me that won't learn language, that won't learn math, that won't learn anything because they are scared. They are scared.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
They're scared, right? I'm about to cut somebody's mic off. See, all right, cool. But go ahead. Give me your point. Oh, don't cut off the mic now. Don't get quiet on me now. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Sure, tell me where I'm wrong. Go ahead, and you better be ready, because I'm coming. I'm coming because I'm hyped. Tell me how I'm wrong.
Because we are disposition to things through our genes.
You say what?
We have a predisposition for certain things.
Like what? Go ahead. What do you have predisposition to do?
We have a predisposition to addiction.
Who? You saying that black folks or yourself are more predisposed to get addicted to a substance that is designed to be addicted than anybody else?
Yep.
No, addiction takes work, baby. What did you talking about?
I didn't say black people.
Who you saying?
I'm saying those people. I'm saying that those things can be people
any addiction, because I was an addiction counselor. Any addiction takes work. You got to work. You practice being addicted to some shit. You just don't pick up some shit and all of a sudden become addicted to it. You work at it. That means, boy, you get it. You had to practice first. You don't just stumble onto addiction. Addiction requires work. I'm dealing with an addiction right now. It took me years to practice to get into the addiction. Now I got to practice years to get out of it. So how am I wrong? Come on, man. You know, open it up.
I believe that we as a people we cannot discredit genes and the things that are passed down by your. That's why women, when they lay down with these men, they need to think about who they're laying down with and having babies with. You have to think about these things. You have to think about these things. We are your child inherits things from you. So you're telling me that your child doesn't inherit
how do things get imprinted into genes? Tell me, please.
I know whole families.
No, okay, cool. But now answer my question. How
okay, let me ask you this. So people who are born with mental
illness, right?
delays. People born with mental delays. A lot of times they have children and their children are born with mental delays. When you're talking about chemical imbalance that may be that may result in things like depression, bipolar, I believe that those things can be genetic as well. I believe apples don't fall far from the tree. So you, I don't know. It could be some things that happen that I don't know that do and make it so that some kids have that natural ability to learn. But there are definitely, I think about autistic children. Autistic children, they don't require a lot, but they can remember everything. They're a different
listen, wait, hold on. Listen to what you're saying. Even autistic kids, they can remember everything. This means that they have to do something in order to have it in their memory banks. Now, wait, hold on. Let's go back to the genes. Hold on. Let's go back.
They have to do nothing. That is how they're wired.
No, that's movie shit. See, you're caught up on movie. That's movie shit, baby. That's not real. You can't do something naturally if you are not exposed to it. People don't just come out and pick up a piano and start playing that shit. That don't happen.
Let me tell you, I worked at a school with an autistic unit. I never understood what it meant to be on a spectrum. I never understood what it meant to be on a spectrum. But when I tell you the kids see certain things, they don't need to write notes. They don't need to do any of that. It's just automatic. That's how they learn. They're wired that way. So my thinking is, and some things are, I just think some things are, what do they say? They say some things are nature and some things are natural. I believe it's a combination of them too, both of them. And I think that what you're saying is that I just don't agree with it. I believe that some kids they have that natural ability. That's what they're naturally good at. That's the way their brain is hardwired. It doesn't require a lot for them to do. But if you ask them to do something like on the creative side, they got a hard time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've learned about kids who can retain certain things, as far as like how the schools are set up. The way the schools are set up is set up to benefit certain learners. You know what I'm saying? And those learners, a lot of times, they're not the creative ones. They're not the ones that can that are innovative. They are just good at written routine. You know what I'm saying? They're just good at those types of things. That doesn't make them smarter. They're just a different type of learner, and the schools are set up to make them successful. But for these other
time out. Now, I want to go back to the gene thing, right? How does something become nurture? How does something become genetic? It becomes genetic by time out. Let me finish. You don't win because you went all the way. You went all the way to school. Let me address the genetic piece. When something becomes genetic, this means that a group of individuals have practiced something so long that it becomes, in a sense, ingrained in that group, right? So there was some practice, right? But if you take that child up out of that environment, because they got experiments like this, where they take twins that are genetically identical. They separate the twins. They put one in an environment that it might have supposed to be in. They take another one and put it in a totally different environment. Guess what? The one that was put in a different environment picks up different habits, picks up different skills. Now, the point that I'm saying is, you saying that people come out naturally playing pianos. They come out naturally good at stuff. All I'm saying is that it requires work. That's what I'm saying. Even if your memory is key, the only way that you can recall something is if you do it.
You said maybe I've never heard you say this, but I believe this.
We already had this discussion before. We had this disagreement before.
We are God. So we're already born.
What does that mean? Well, see, now hold on, time out, go back. What does that mean? Let's clarify that. Because now let's clarify that, because that's equivalent See, because now we done took the king thing and we done moved to now we're kings and queens to now we're God. What in the hell does that mean? You know what I'm saying? What does it mean when you say we are gods? Because I want to be clear on that, because I want to share that. I want to either I want to make that better or I want to get rid of it. Because what we have now is a bunch of kids thinking and a bunch of adults think that because we're kings. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
We are gods. We are made in God's image.
What does that mean?
Meaning that the same power, the same miracles that they spoke of in the Bible with regards to Moses parting the sea and Jesus feeding the people, all of those things, those stories are to tell us that we can do the same thing. We can heal people with our words.
Hold on, time out. I want to get this clear. You're admitting that it's a story.
It's an allegory. It's a story.
So it's a story. Okay, cool. All right, cool. Go ahead.
So these are people's accounts. These are people's accounts through oral tradition of stories that were passed down to them to teach them about themselves and about how to live in the universe. So these are allegories. And so with that being said, I believe that we are born with gifts. And certain environments nurture our gifts, you know what I'm saying? And certain environments kind of quiet our gifts, you know what I'm saying? Or make it so that our light cannot shine. But if you put someone,
what type of environment we in now?
We're definitely in an environment. We are in an environment of psychological warfare.
Which does what?
Psychological warfare. The reason why Black people are in the condition that they are in right now today is because they watch too much TV and listen to too much music. Trash. I call it music. M-U, capital S, capital I, capital C, capital K, and that stands for it's making us sick. You have to tune out. You have to tune out that we are under psychological warfare. And that is why my people are doing the things that they are doing, because there has been a war attack, launched to attack our character, to attack our mentalities, to attack our values, our morals. They are demoralizing us through the images. So we are under attack.
And that's why we're divine. We're gods. Shake it off.
Let's go.
Shake it off.
That's why we can.
But first, see, we throw terms out there like that, right? And somebody who is not really understanding thinks that gives them the ability to overcome anything without any work, without any practice. Because I naturally had a gift.
If we could, yes, I am naturally gifted. I am naturally.
What are you naturally gifted at?
In several things.
Like what?
I don't want to share with you.
Give me one. You don't got to share everything. Give me one. See, because if you're going to bring that to me, you got to bring it to me real. Give me one thing that you are naturally gifted at. Something that you did not bust your ass at, that you woke up one day and discovered you can do.
Okay, so what if I did? Okay, let me say this. I'm not going to share it with you because it's very intimate, but I'm going to tell you this. Maybe I didn't have to bust my butt. Maybe the way that nature works, all these things just happened to me to mold me into this and make that my gift. I guess that might be it. Maybe iron sharpens iron, and all those things that just happened to me help me to better develop this gift, or
but hold on, if you're naturally good at it, right, you don't have to make it better. Let me tell you this. I know some kids that come out on the basketball court, and we know some that are naturally gifted at the game. Let's say that they're naturally gifted at the game, but then they work at somebody who wasn't naturally gifted, somebody who had to get up and really, really invest themselves at becoming good. What happens to the child who has been told his whole life that he's naturally good at this when he runs up against somebody who has the work ethic?
You're making a point for me. You're making
a point for you.
Yes, you are.
What I'm making a point of is this. When you turn around and keep on saying, I'm naturally gifted at something, what you do is you give young people the excuse and give them a reason. Wait, hold on. That they don't have to work. As a matter of fact, you do the same thing for adults. I don't have to work at it because I'm naturally good at it. That's bullshit. You need to work at it. Nigga, you was lucky enough to make 3 free throws in a row and somebody told you that you're naturally good.
Guess what? When you are gifted with something, and see, this is the thing, and when you have a knowledge of self, you know that is your gift.
How many people got knowledge of self?
You work at it every day.
Ooh.
You work every day. You go into that profession when you know what you're naturally gifted at. You go into that as a career.
How many kids you work with are doing that?
Okay. Again, why are they not doing it? Why are they not doing it?
Wait, hold on. Exactly. That is the point I'm trying. Why are they not? You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are being told in our schools that you are naturally smart. You're smart. You're really smart. And then then as teachers, we got teachers that are taught to give the politically correct piece. So when a parent come in, they say stuff like, your child has a whole lot of potential. And he's very disruptive in the classroom, and rather than saying the truth, your child is tearing up my goddamn room. Your child is acting a fucking fool in my classroom and is disrupting everybody's learning. Your child is struggling with this. We got to start off with the positives. We got to start off with everything that is supposedly good. You know what I'm saying? Because all children are gifted, right?
Everybody.
You don't have to work at it. Because you're gifted. It was given to you. If it's given to you, you don't have to work at it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Of course you have to work at it. I didn't say
No, not in this society, not in this microwave society, not in this society where everybody just magically ended up on the radio because somebody walked in a room and found them rapping and they just happened to be rapping and they was good enough to get a music contract. No, not when you got hoes on TV who have become famous because they was able to get some shine off of being a video vixen or being somebody in a porno. Come on, man. Look at the culture you in.
Let me bring you back home. Again, we are gods and we are not operating.
Define that. Stop saying that to me unless you're going to define that.
Okay,
define that. What does that mean?
What it means is that we were made in God's image, the creator.
What does that mean? See, because you got all these different images. What does it mean? Break it down.
It don't mean no Jesus. If you're saying an image, this is a spirit. We were made in God's image. So if we was made in the image of a spirit, why are we walking around with a physical body? We have a physical body. So God has a physical body. We have a soul. We have a mind, body, and we have a spirit. And
we was made in God's image. If we were made in God's image, God got to have all those things. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're all made in
flawed.
Wait, hold on.
Does the creator have flaws?
Down to the blade of grass that grows through the earth. We are all made in God's image. That's why reproduction amongst your animals and your plants is so much like reproduction amongst your humans. We're all everything out here. So when I say that I am a God, you know what I'm saying? What I am recognizing is my power that I have. I'm recognizing the power that I have to heal, the power that I have to speak life, the power that I have to put positive energy out into the universe and it come back. That's what I'm focused on as far as being a God and knowing that when I put this positive energy out here, this is what happens. You know, when I speak when I speak these words, it brings life. You know, when you are a God and knowledge of self, you know that, and you go into, like I said, you understand that you do have a gift, and you know what? You work hard to bring light.
Wait, hold on. You do what?
You work hard to bring light to that gift. You go into that field. That's what you do. When you understand your gift, why it is that you were created to be here, what your purpose here is on earth, that's where you go.
But you do what to manifest the gift? Say it again, please. That's all I'm saying. You do what?
You do work. Yes, you work.
You work hard. So you brought all the way back around, but you still ain't defining the God piece. You know what I'm saying? You know, because listen, I'm very clear. I'm very clear on that. But I want to make sure that everybody out there is clear on it. You see what I'm saying? What does it mean when you say we are made in God's image? Is God flawed? Does God have the same flaws that we have? Because the grass has flaws. The goats out there have flaws. The trees have flaws. And most importantly, human beings have flaws.
Not in the flesh. In the
so we was made in God's image. See, I mean,
that is our spirit, our soul. Was natural.
They did not listen. Listen from the book you're coming from, right? Listen from the book that you're pulling from. Man was created in God's image. It did not distinguish between the soul. They talked about Adam was a living being. Adam was created in the garden as a man in God's image. Now, it didn't say nothing about spirit. It didn't say nothing about emotions. It didn't isolate and say, hey, just in spirit. No.
Well,
Adam was made in the Creator's image. This is the book that you're pulling from. So don't partially pull from it. Don't partially.
I'm gonna tell you why I partially pull from it. I'm gonna tell you why I partially pull from it, because I'm not well versed on that book.
You don't pull from it.
I speak about what's true to me and what I know for me, what I know, what I understand from experience, what the knowledge that I have created. I came up with this knowledge from experience, from what I've heard, from what I've seen. I came up with this understanding. So let me just say this. So when we watch it talks about in the Bible, and I'm going to say in the Bible and in other religions as well, they talk about this trilogy, right? So when I say, you know, we know that that's mother, woman, and child, but maybe that could also stand for mind, body, and spirit. If I'm saying that right, yeah, mind, body, and spirit. Mm-hmm. Maybe that is a part of this trifold as well. But when we watch TV and when we have these mess up our frequency, when we're allowing these things to bombard us and it's messing up our frequency, it's taking us away from our innate, our righteousness. It's taking us away from the God in us. That's what we're watching. We're watching impressionable people who are convinced to have ratchet certain things, to be certain ways, to lack morals, because these images are being bombarded at them every day. And so now they're being taken away from the God in them. They don't even know. They're so far removed, and maybe some of this is, generational curses, but they're just so far removed that they are out of touch with the righteous part of them, which just tells you just to do what is right. That's it. But and then they're also out of touch with their gift. They don't know what their gift is. They're not working towards perfecting it. They're not working in God's light. They're not working towards their purpose. They're just I don't even know. They're just existing.
They're not trying.
Oh, let's go.
I said they're not trying.
Let's go. And I agree. They're not trying.
They're not trying. You know why?
Why?
Because they're naturally good at being what they are.
These people, if more people believe that they were naturally good at anything, or they knew anything about nature and anything about those type of things, we wouldn't be in the situation where you're talking as if I wish my people would run around here more talking about their gift or thinking they're naturally gifted at something. I don't hear that.
You don't?
I don't think they have any.
You don't find it strange. Like for example, you don't find it strange that our kids can take tests. They got the highest self-esteem, but in most cases they got the lowest test scores in the world. I mean, you honestly think that in the Black community we're having an issue, we're having a self-esteem problem? We have people written. No. We have people with a false sense of self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? But this is the point that I'm trying to make. They're building sandcastles. They are built up on sandcastles because we're not being honest with them. We're not letting them know that to be good at anything, it takes work.
Exactly.
We're not stressing that.
That is the difference with this generation. They have no work ethic.
It ain't. But see, and this the point. It ain't just this generation. It ain't just this generation because they reflect us. It ain't just them.
Okay.
See, it's us. See, because like I said, like you're pulling. Far as the divine piece, you're pulling a piece. You're pulling something from something you have not really dove into. You know what I'm saying?
I dove into it. I know it. I watched it. I watched it manifest in my life.
You watched it. So how did you know what you was looking at?
What do you mean? Because it happened.
I mean, you watched it in your life. So how did you know what you was looking at?
What do you mean?
You watched the story in your life, and then you just heard a whisper of it, and then you turned around and you spoke about the divine or we being gods, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? So now let me ask this: what are the responsibilities of a god? You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at the traditions of deities, you have deities or gods and goddesses that are born with different skills. See, being born and saying that you're divine doesn't mean that you have the ability to create, because all deities don't have the ability to create. Some of them have different skills.
So
go ahead.
What if that is what if that is what it is?
That's the point that I'm trying to make to you. But you don't discover that. You don't get that if you don't study. You don't get that if you don't look at yourself. You don't get that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because now the whole image that I'm giving you comes from texts that are older than the Bible.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It gets into a whole nother spiritual dynamic. So when you hear me talk about it, we being gods, the whole piece that I'm talking about is I'm not talking about just from the Hebraic tradition. I can show you in the Hebraic tradition where they tell us that we are gods several times. You know what I'm saying? But they never break down what that means. You know what I'm saying? They do talk about the gifts of the spirit. But when it really comes down to it, when we're talking about that, those individuals that's talking about it, at least in the vein that I'm coming from, are talking about it from a different perspective. They're not necessarily talking, so you can't really support it from just the Hebraic text. You see what I'm saying?
That's what happens.
Go ahead.
So sometimes you have belief and you come across knowledge that help you better understand your beliefs. But some beliefs that you have is just through, it could be through experiences, and then you read things or you learn things that may, that may change your belief. It may grow it may whatever. But I have certain beliefs just from my experience. You know what I'm saying? From my experiences and my understanding of, things may not be what your understanding is, because like you said, you're going to pull from different information and text to support your argument. And
not just the argument, but the way that I move in the world. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that you're right or wrong, but the point that I'm saying is because you came in, you say, "Hey, you're wrong." I'm like, damn, yeah. I'm in this. Wait, hold on. I'm in the spirit, right? I'm cool. All right, boom. All right, you're wrong. And let's say, whoa. Right? I asked you to identify one thing that you're good at, but you can't share that because it's intimate.
It's intimate.
That you are the best at. That you are able to do it without work. Right? That it was just natural to you.
It was, but maybe these things, I don't know. I was predispositioned somehow to whatever, you know what I'm saying, to do well and to flourish at it. And where some people may have to work hard at this, I don't, because I'm letting his light shine. So that's how I'm letting his light shine. I'm saying this is my gift. Like I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? Like this is who I am at the core. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like I said, it is intimate. But I do well in lots of things, and or I have lots of gifts. I like to say. I would like to say we all have several gifts. I see your gift every day. I wonder why it is that when our light is shining, other people can't. I mean, can you see it, or are you blinded by it? Because I see your gifts.
Now,
That you
this is the issue. This is the issue. It's not we don't do our gifts necessarily just for them to be seen. You understand what I'm saying? And some gifts, like you said, are more intimate and people are not going to see them. You don't put these gifts out so that necessarily just so that people can see them. You put them out because that's what you were put here in a sense, or that's what you have decided was your purpose on choosing this life.
Exactly. I agree.
Now, but even in that, you still have to work at it.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Most people fail from manifesting their gifts because, unlike this proverb, they say God doesn't require us to succeed. He only requires that we try. What I'm saying is because we coming up in a culture where everybody think that everything is supposed to be automatic, a lot of people don't even try because they have been made to feel that failure is wrong. You are not allowed to mess up, but there's no way that you become a master and become the best at something without messing up. Where am I wrong?
Like I said, I do believe that we have some gifts that come
But
natural.
there's one of those gifts that you don't have to work on. Any gift that you have that you do not work on will fade away.
It's not even.
You know, listen, I'm a natural, I believe that I'm a natural poet. But you know what? When I get put into the ring or put on a stage with other poets and I haven't worked on my craft, you know what happens? I get smashed. And I'm good. I can sit right here right now, come up with a poem. I could do a haiku right now. I come up with a poem that, I mean, same thing with rhyming. I could do it. But because I don't focus on that, because I don't hone it, it's just okay. It's just okay. Same thing with math. I believe that I'm naturally good at math. But because I don't work at it, I'm not capable of keeping up with those that are truly gifted in math. And they're gifted because, one, they accepted the gift, they embraced the gift, and they used the gift. But the only way they're able to use the gift is that they get over themselves and they are bold enough to fail. I don't think a lot of our kids is failing. Man, so I done lost somebody on the chat. All right, but hey, let me finish and then I'm gonna go and shut this session down. Whatever you fear most has no power. It is your fear that has the power. Whatever you fear has no power. It is your fear that has the power. Now, for those that's on the journey and have been around Gye-Nyame long enough, we know that fear is like the mother of what we call the unbalanced seven. Fear generates all. Fear generates the envy, the greed, the laziness. From fear, these things are manifested, and a lot of us think that we are fearing a thing, and I think this is what she's trying to say. A lot of us think that we're fearing something, so we learn to put our focus on something, whether it's a person or whether it's a thing whether it's a belief, we focus and we think that that is the source of the fear, but the source of the fear is never outside of us. The source of the fear is inside of us, and the only way that we could conquer that is by, in a sense, dealing with the fear inside of us. And when we deal with the fear inside of us, that's when we become powerful. That's when we are able to move mountains. You know what I'm saying? But once again, it gets back to that work. We got to, sometimes we're going to face that dragon, and sometimes we're going to fail. Sometimes we're going to struggle with those addictions. Sometimes we're going to struggle with those relationships. Sometimes we're going to struggle with those financial issues. Sometimes we're going to struggle with those weight issues. Sometimes we're going to struggle with those hair issues. I mean, because in our community, we have a plethora of things that we fear, a plethora of them. And we think that it's actually them, but it's more so our perception of them. Because the true thing that is generating the fear is in us. It's the fear that is in us. All right. And, you know, but let me move on. Last one is an African proverb. Don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. Wow. Don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. And I'm seeing this, and I'm gonna pull out, you know, because I did a show on this the other day, broke out crying like a baby on the show because of how I was feeling about how this thing in Texas is overshadowing a lot of stuff that's going on in our community. And it seems to me that a lot of times in our community, we allow our enemies to get in the way of our work and the way that we work. You know what I'm saying? We allow this quote unquote white supremacy, or really white inferiority. We allow this to get in the way of the way we work. You know what I'm saying? We allow the political system to get in the way of and the outcomes of election to get in the way of how we work. You know what I'm saying? We allow these things to get in the way. We allow our enemies to get in the way of our work rather than focusing on the work. You know what I'm saying? The goal should be to stop murder. Hell with just murder from a white cop. Hell with the abuse from just a white cop. What about all the abuse that's going on in our communities from us upon us? What about all the murders that's going on in our community? We allow outsiders to dictate our work when in fact we got some work to do. We got some purging to do. And if we don't get to the purging, if we don't get to us doing the work, if we don't get to us fixing it, right, we're never going to accomplish the work. Well, that's the word of Hatem. You know, that's just me. Y'all, like I said, your opinions, you can have your opinions. But yo, I love the discussion. Oh my God. It felt so good. I want to thank I think it's Oh So Dark and Lovely for stepping up. Thank you for getting that mic fixed. I greatly appreciate you because people got to catch your wisdom. And just because I don't agree, right, does not mean, you know what I'm saying? Even though this is Gye-Nyame Journey, this is not Brother Hatem's show. So just because I don't necessarily agree doesn't mean that what you're saying doesn't have no merit or is not right. It's not right. You know what I'm saying? Because the PC is, I appreciate you get up here and getting your shine on. You know what I'm saying? Getting up here and answering the questions. I appreciate that. Right? So keep up the work. You know what I'm saying? Understand that we got a lot of work ahead of us because we still got about 40 more of these to do. And then I still want to go through the African openings to the Tree of Life. So if you think we're going to be battling on these ones, I want you to get ready for the African openings to the Tree of Life. I'm just prepping y'all for that one right now. But right now, those of you that's out there that want to keep up with us and you want to get on this 90-day journey, go and get you your Gye-Nyame Journey workbook, Tribal Quotes. You know what I'm saying? Get the book and work it out. Hold on. Miss Sasha Moss is here, and I'm quite sure she want to say something. Go ahead, even though she should be asleep. She wants to tell on somebody. Go ahead and say hi, Sasha Maj.
Hi.
Say it again so they can hear you.
Hi.
You want to talk about the proverb or what? No. All right. Well, hey, we start them off young around Gye-Nyame because she don't mind coming to tap me even if I'm talking in front of 20 people. It don't matter. But we gonna say good night. I'm gonna see what my youngest daughter want. Can you say good night for it to everybody?
Good night.
Good night, y'all. This is Brother Hatim, and with that, I'm out.